Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for attending today's eTwinning webinar offered by the European School Education Platform. I remind you that this is a recorded session, as you can see, and the recording has already started. All materials will be uploaded to the European School Education Platform in the coming days, so you will be able to see the recording to share it with other eTwinners and catch up with the content addressed today. Before we begin, I'd like also to remind you one important technicality. So for GDPR reason, your camera and microphone are disabled, but we encourage you to share any thoughts or questions that you might have in the chat. I'll be there reading the chat and supporting you for any technical questions. And for questions relevant to the topics addressed today, our speaker will be happy to address them at the end of the session if there's any time. And now I would like to introduce you the content of today's webinar. So today's session is organized in collaboration with the feature group, Literacy, Media Literacy and Critical Thinking. And we have here with us the moderator of this feature group, Carol Barriuso. This group and space is spotlighted for the whole month of April, and that means you will find there resources, activities, and events you can take part in on the topic of literacy, which is also the monthly topic of the European School Education Platform for the whole month of April. Carol, for today, has organized a special expert talk with our speaker, Alexis Salujarvi, who I welcome here today. We are very happy and honored to have you here for this webinar. And Alexis will address the topic of reading as a skill of survival. Alexis is a Finnish literature educator and cultural journalist dedicated to bridging the reading gap among young people who struggle with literacy, but he will tell you much more about that in a moment, and he will share some insights. So before leaving the floor to Alexis, I just remind you the name of the feature group in collaboration with whom we organized the webinar of today, Literacy, Media Literacy and Critical Thinking. And here is a QR code that you can use to join the group and discover many other resources and events like the one of today to engage with the topic of literacy. Without further ado, I'll now leave the floor to our speaker, Alexis, and this presentation. So please, whenever you're ready, Alexis, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Thanks. And nice to be here. I'm trying to give you a glimpse of my project, which has been going for 9 years now, and it has become my main job. It's about reading as a skill of survival. Actually, I can't see the slideshow myself.
Okay, Carol, can you just confirm if you can see it, just to be sure that there's nothing with the...
Yeah, I do. I can see them.
Okay, maybe there's something then with your connection, Alexis. Let me just re-upload the presentation and see if it works for you. Our attendees in the meanwhile can see it, so that's good. Just give me a second. Okay, and here it is. Let's see if maybe this helps with the connection. It's uploading. And now it's there. Alexis, do you see it now?
It says that there is some sort of a there has happened some sort of a mishap, but I can see my slide from my own screen. So if we are now in the first slide.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Good. All right. So this reading as a skill of survival is my job, and I started it with actually multiple backers, and mostly I have been doing this with private money. So my job is basically bringing private money to the public schooling system, and I have been trying to develop the ways people are teaching reading and literature. And my key point is that well, the first thing I really noticed when I started this in 2016 is that there are many youngsters who don't enjoy reading. They just can't do it. Well, they can do it, but they can't enjoy it. And there are usually some good explanation for that. For example, they have problems with reading or ADHD or something like that. So when they read, they need to have a really good reason to do so, because they are not enjoying it. And this is the reason why I'm teaching reading as a skill of survival, because it's not about enjoyment, it's about surviving. And the field I'm operating is literature outside of the literature. So I mostly read texts with the kids that aren't usually considered as literature, and most of it is actually rap lyrics. But well, yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the second slide. Every human being has a story. This is really trivial and obvious, but it's not obvious to those people who dislike reading. And these three questions are usually the things we are usually the things that we explain about ourselves to new people. We tell them where do we come from and what kind of person we are, and what are our what is the plan, where are we going. This is these are the things that separates people from each other, and also these are the things that unite people with each other. And the reason for reading and the reason to finding yourself in stories and books is basically to locate yourself, to so that you are able to know what you have in common with others and what makes you you. And there is this quote of William Carlos Williams' poem which explains this in a poetic way. It's obviously difficult to get news from poems, but the idea is that if you can't find yourself from poems, uh, you are likely to die miserably because you are not remembered. You have not been found. And the picture there is this drawing also, and every once in a while I look at it because it was during the pandemic. I was teaching with my partner Mikko, and we were in Tampere, and it was an early morning in a special education school, and there was this 15-year-old girl who genuinely asked us, why are we there? Why did we go there? We are adults and we can do whatever we want with our lives. And she was really wondering, why did we come to her class? Why did we go there? And she didn't realize, it didn't came to her mind that there would be anything so special about her that it was worth visiting. She didn't consider herself to be that important that we would go there just for her. And she was one of my best students ever. She was really, really smart. And the key of bonding with her and the key of our success was to explain her story to her, or help her to make her story visible, to make this 15-year-old girl visible in this world. And this is something that we have really in Finland, there is something wrong with this country, because we have this kind of youngsters who doesn't think themselves worthy of other people's attention. They don't think they are important. And literature is maybe the best way of making people visible and proud of themselves. Okay, but we are precisely or mostly doing rap lyrics. And in the next slide, you can find why rap lyrics are special, or why they are good in
Sorry,
teaching.
Alexis, to interrupt you, but since I'm seeing that some participants are not seeing the slides correctly, which instead I'm sharing, I would like just to try to re-upload the presentation.
Okay, all right.
Today there's something with the slides with Teams. So just bear with me for 20 seconds,
All
and
right.
I will try to re-upload it. Okay, and here it is. So let's see if now Teams works better. It's uploading. Okay, see that some participants can see it actually, slide 7. So maybe just as a delay in syncing, in synchronizing. Can you all see the slide, Alexis, Carol?
I can't.
I can see number 1.
Okay,
right
and
now.
if I change to the slide that Alexis was describing just now, do you see slide 7?
Yes, now yes.
Okay,
I think it's
Alexis,
working.
for you, I think the issue is persisting, right? Alexis?
Excuse me?
For you, I think the issue is still there, right? You cannot see them.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Okay, but at least Carol can see them and the participants can see it. So I let you
Yeah.
continue. And sorry for the interruption, but I wanted just to
No.
make sure people were seeing what you were describing.
Yeah. All right. Why are rap lyrics special? Well, firstly, it's obvious that everyone are familiar to them. You can't avoid rap songs. It's the most popular form of storytelling or most popular form of music in the world right now. So there is no barrier in just to hop in. It's really easy way to start. And also, if you have troubles in reading, it's much easier to listen to the lyrics and read at the same time. It's a easy way of starting to do text analysis. Also, the special thing about rap lyrics is that it's every town and every place has its own rap artists. So it's easy to find songs and rap lyrics that comes close, which are local and familiar to the youngsters. It also comes close and is personal. And what I mean by this is that the things that the rap songs are talking about are the kind of things the young people can find around them. They know what the song is about. They can. It's easy to read between the lines and see the text in its context. So it's really easy. It's that I don't have to persuade the youngsters to read the text because they already have a hint or already know what it is about. So it's personal in that way. And also, rap lyrics are ambitious texts. Usually, rap lyrics or the artist is trying his or her best to impress the audience. So it's really ambitious type of text, and also it's like non-literary literature or a genre of illiterate poets. And what I mean by this is that most of the artists or most of the rap lyrics or the writers of rap lyrics don't consider themselves as writers. They don't consider themselves as making fiction or writing. We have this Finnish word which is like a fine text, fine kind of text, and even still, they are ambitious texts, and most of them have metaphors or other kinds of complex ingredients, and you are able to find them and read them and analyze them when you put your mind to it. And it's actually really fun to read rap lyrics with the students who are bad in reading, because usually they really shine when we look at rap songs, and when we ask questions about the texts. What is the purpose of the text, or what are the goals of the artist to write this or that kind of song? They are usually really good in this, and it happens a lot that those kids who are like worst readers or worst in reading in the class are best in analyzing rap lyrics, because it's their home field. And the best case scenario is that the bad reader of the class becomes authority of the knowledge of rap lyrics, and he has some kind of like hidden knowledge, and he can be the best reader when it comes to rap lyrics. It has happened many times, and it's really enjoyable, because when it happens, I can stop teaching and start coaching. It's more about coaching when you have skilled children in the class, and it's really fun. It's really fun. Well, what I've done this in the next slide is my long journey. I went from primary schools to prison, and well, actually that's 2025 now, so it's 9 years. And this picture is from a prison. It's this is the nicest play of a prison in Helsinki area, and this is the place you can come from 1 hour per day for exercise and breathing the outside air, and 23 hours you spend inside. And these are my colleagues, or some of my colleagues I work with. And the main character in this picture is this guy who has a watch in his wrist and is holding his hands crossed over his stomach. He's a 19 years old guy. Really talented writer who started to write in prison, and actually his life turned around when he found himself operating with texts. He became really good and actually quite successful. And when he came out of prison, he was able to turn his life around. He's now completely free. He had a 7-year sentence, and now he is graduating from high school in Finland, and is like a different person actually. Well, I have been reached something like 10,000 youngsters during all these years, and from those 10,000 youngsters, maybe 1,000 youngsters are the kind of people I've worked more or like a longer period. Some of my students have been with me this whole time, this whole 9 years, and some of the students have already only passed by. So, but anyway, we started in vocational education in 2016, and we were traveling across Finland, actually everywhere around Finland, in those vocational schools. And when we started this, we realized that my profession as a journalist and as and in literature actually is really good match with rap artists or people who make rap music, because we can teach it the both ways. Like we can teach the way rap works from the perspective of a rap artist, and also we can teach the way rap lyrics works from my perspective. And it's been teamwork ever since, and actually quite effective. And when we finished our first project in this vocational education, I wanted to see more. I wanted to see bad readers across Finland. So we started to visit special education in primary schools, younger kids, aged 13 to 16. And also at the same time, I started to do these prison things, this teaching in prison, and also with people with a criminal background, because I wanted to see bad readers of older age. So I wanted to see the whole spectrum from 13 to 29. What happens to you if you are a bad reader, and how can reading be a skill of survival? How can we change the lives of these people with the help of reading skills or literary skills? In the next slide, you see that the strong correlation between bad reading and bad life. There have been a couple of studies in prisons in Finland among youth with a criminal background, and it's really obvious that the harder it is to read, the harder it is to succeed or actually to avoid prison. 80% of the youth criminals has difficulties in paying attention, and it's really typical for them to have ADHD. So for them to sit down and to take information in their brain in a basic school is mostly impossible, and that is the reason they have in really early age they have come to this conclusion that school is not for me. 70% has difficulties in reading or writing, and usually they have some sort of disorder in reading, some sort of basic trouble in reading a text, so they don't get enjoyment out of reading. It's hard for them. And also there are other learning difficulties, and maybe some sort of disabilities usually. And if we look at the ninth graders in Finland, like the 15-year-old kids, 15% of them have some sort of trouble with law or some sort of trouble with society, and this 15% is exactly the same number that has problems in reading, that are struggling in reading. They are the same kids that don't find any success in school, and then they find themselves in trouble. And if their home is if there is some problem in their homes, then it deepens. They get into a deeper trouble, and it's really obvious that you can find all those kids when they are 13 or younger than 13 from the school. And when I asked the prisons in prisons, when did you know that you were going to end up in prison? Usually they say that they were something like 13 or 14. They already then knew that they would end up in prison if they would continue to live the way they were living, and they decided to do so. They decided to go to prison. It was never an accident. It was really easy to see beforehand, and it's really easy to intervene to this if you do it early enough. In the next slide is actually my biggest beef. This is why reading is a skill of survival. This is actually a internet meme I came across many years ago. But this explains really good why do you need to be able to read. Most of the things in our heads uh, are most of our thoughts are the kind of thoughts we are able to put into words. But of course, there are some things that we find impossible to describe. For example, if you had a really bad nightmare and when you wake up, you try to explain to someone else that what you were, what was it that you were so afraid of? It's mostly it's impossible to explain it. It's just it's a thought that we find impossible to explain. But many of the things circling in our heads are such thoughts that we can put into words, and the thoughts we can put into words and say to other people. We don't say everything that we can say. If there is something embarrassing, for example, we usually keep it to ourselves and only say something what we choose to say to others. And what we say to other people don't understand it the way we say it. There is a really big loss if we think about ourselves inside ourselves and our thoughts inside our head, our heads, and what people can understand about us and what we say. And the only way to expand those circles is words, is the ability to use words, to put words in a different kind of order. And right now I'm trying to explain this in English, which is my third language, and I find it really difficult, as you can hear. But and I really feel the loss of these circles. But the more you read and the more you write, the better your text skills are, the easier it is to describe the nightmare, the easier it is to describe your embarrassment, and the easier it is to make yourself understood. And I think that the most important thing about being a human is to be able to make yourself understood to others. Because when this happens, when you don't succeed in this, you end up feeling lonely and alone. You see the distance between others and you. If you are really embarrassed and you can't put it into words, and you can't find a way to make others to understand it, you see the distance between you and the other people. You are alone then, like permanently alone. And the most common thing that the people I meet in prisons, what that they tell me is that they don't have the experience that they have been understood as they feel themselves ever. They wherever they go, wherever they are, they feel alone. They feel the distance between them and others. And if you think like this, if this is the way you feel, you stop caring what happens to you. It doesn't matter that you end up in prison because you feel that there is nothing more to lose. You don't have anything worth losing in your life. So especially in Finland, when you end up in prison as a young person, you can only do it on purpose, because the first like 7 or first 10 times you make a mistake, you are warned and warned again, and the police say that you can't keep doing this. And if you keep doing these crimes, if it is obvious that if you walk freely in the streets, you are a threat to other people, then you end up in prison. And every young people knows it beforehand. It happens. And this is the reason. This is the reason it happens. They only see distance between themselves and others. And also this graph is easy to understand when you think about a 2-year-old child. Human being is most violent when he or she is 2 years old, because 2 years old whenever there is something wrong, 2-year-old kid can't explain it even to himself. When he's hungry or tired, he can't find words to describe his situation to himself. So he's gonna or she's gonna lose temper. It's gonna come out as aggression when you are really frustrated and you don't find a way to make yourself understood. So 2-year-old kid is unable to express him or herself fluently, even to himself. And this is the reason why 2-year-old kid is so aggressive. And also it happens, of course, when you are 20 years old, but for some people. But whenever you succeed widening these circles, this is the best way of to avoid aggression and feeling yourself as a loner. And this is the reason reading is a key skill of survival. It's really important to be able to make yourself understood. And rap lyrics is a really good gift for this. And you may have, I think that maybe every people in this world has this experience that there is this one song that you have to listen like 15 times every day. It's like this one new song is a song for me, and I have to keep listening to it because it is so good. And the reason this happens is that in this song, someone you have never met has been able to put in the words what you feel. Someone you know nothing about has had the same feeling and has had the skill to put the feeling in the words the way you never could. And this makes this song proves that you are not alone. This song proves that there is at least one other person in this world who feels the way you feel. It feels really, really good. It's really, really rewarding. And this is the reason you have to listen to the same song so many times. And if it happens to be a rap song, and if the person who has to listen to this specific rap song 15 times is in a class, and we do a text analysis of this song, it gives me a way to explain why we have this thing called literature. What is the meaning of literature? What we can achieve with literature? What is the point of literature? This is basically what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do in my job, and it's all about widening these circles. Also, the next slide is something everybody immediately recognize. This happens to us all, and this is the reason young people who don't like reading and who have bad skills in writing, why they hate writing. They know what they want to express. They have something in their mind, and this is what they end up with, this horse tied to the staircase. But this is actually not a failure. If your first version is this close to the end result, if this is your first version, it's pretty good. You can already see where you should be going or what you are aiming for. This first version is really good first version, and every professional writer has this kind of failure as as the first version, and this is the point where we start actually the writing, where the writing start, where we have to really put time into the text. And my goal with the kids is to have this first version written down, to have this as a starting point, because if they fear that they will fail, they will not even try. And when we are dealing with kids who dislike reading, to get them to start is actually the hardest part. To get them to do anything is the hardest part. They are not dumb, and they have no they actually they are underperforming in their text skills, and they are underperforming because they think that this is not meant for me. I'm not good in this, so why would I even try? And it's a way of preserving their self-image is to purposefully do it badly, like purposefully underperform, so that they can keep the image of themselves as better than this, protected. So it's good to underperform if you can do something, if there is something we can work with, and it's important to remember that if this plastic horse is what you end up riding, you already have done good. This is already good. Okay, to next slide. The reason why reading keeps you alive. Reasons. First reason is actually really trivial, because reading gives us the ability to understand the world. And this is obvious if you think about traffic signs. In order to stay alive in traffic, you have to be able to read the traffic signs and understand them. And 2-year-old kid isn't able to do that, and this is the reason 2-year-old kids can't even walk on the sidewalk themselves. They are in real danger immediately. The more interesting reason why reading keeps you alive is that it gives you the ability to understand other people. It gives you the ability to empathy, and this is what fiction is for. There's this Steven Pinker. It's a really interesting guy who claims that the invention that has been most relevant of making the world safer place, of like stopping violence in the world is fiction, because fiction gave us a way to see the world from the other people's point of view. I don't know if it's true, but what I find in prisons is that the youngsters who end up in prisons, they lack empathy skills. They don't have it. And when we are working with texts, it's a good way to exercise that skill. And even more important is that reading gives you ability to make yourself understood by others. So if you have this song you have to listen 15 times a day, it's a way of making yourself understood by others. It's taking part in the culture. And this is both reading and writing. You can also write down what is happening to you and make yourself understood. And this is also really important, especially when I'm working with the youngsters who really struggle in life. And what literature does is that literature makes one group at a time of people visible. Like the literature's problem is minorities, because we can't understand minorities before we can see this world from their point of view. So every minority should have its own literature. And if they don't, if there is a minority that don't, whose stories are not published, or whose experience are not written down, they just vanish from this world. They just stop existing, and the majority is unable to take this minority's point of view. We have many minorities, well, in every country, but in Finland, for example, we have our original people, the Sami people, and the way the Sami people have improved their lives in Finland, the way they have made themselves visible is through literature. It's really key thing of them being able to be more equal to the rest of Finland. And it has happened since the 1970s. It's pretty recent, but it's a good example to give to the kids of minority that is that has survived through literature. And this is the reason everybody should take part in literature. This is the reason why you and me and everyone should find themselves in literature. Because if you're not able to do it, you are not visible. All right, so we have this problem. Next slide is how to deal with low motivation. This is what we deal with, of course. If we are trying to teach literature to bad readers, they have really low motivation. The first thing is you should always have an answer to the question, so what? Because when you go and say to kids who dislike reading that you should reading is good for you, their logical question is, so what? So what? So this is then I answer them that when they ask me, so what? I say to them that it's a skill of survival. It's about your right to exist. It's not supposed to be fun. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. It's about more important things. So, but you have to have an answer to the obvious question, so what? Also, when I find texts to young people, I try to find the texts as close as possible to the youngster's own life. This is where rap lyrics shine, but there are other kinds of text also, and not every kid is in love with rap lyrics. So it doesn't matter what is the type of the text, because I don't get to choose it. I ask the kids what they are interested in, and then I provide the text. And my starting point is rap lyrics, but it's not all the time that the project ends there. Many of the kids have other kinds of interests, and of course I can move there really easily. What I like myself most is poetry. It's my love in literature and texts. And whenever I find someone who is interested in poetry, this is when I get to do what I want to do. But it's not about me. I don't get to choose. So I just try to find texts that are as close as possible to the kids. And third thing, this is really important. My goal is to support the identity of the kids, whatever they consider themselves to be, whatever they think of themselves. I'm all about supporting it. I don't judge I don't do anything else than give support. I'm like a big brother who is proud of the little brother. So, for example, if I am in prisons, it happens a lot that the youngsters are trying to be proud of the crimes they have done. It's like I'm a bad guy and I'm proud of it, and I support it, of course. I make them. I make. I teach them how to put it into words in a way that impresses other peoples, and I don't judge. I just support the identity, and it has happened many times that when we keep writing the text, the first text is about how bad guy I am, but when we keep writing, they become ashamed of it. They see themselves from other people's point of view when they get used to writing, and then they can criticize themselves, and they usually do. I don't need to do it. I'm just a big brother who gives tools to work with texts and make things works and make things work. And this is the quote. This is the quote from Stephen Moss. He's an excellent guy, and this quote is actually enlightening in many ways. Stephen Moss tried to be. He wanted to be a professor of literature in Oxford University, and he wrote to the Guardian this article series about different properties of literature, and one is what is poetry about. And he came to a conclusion that a good poem looks closely at the world, does that Martian thing of trying to see it for the first time. Everything else is secondary. So the only thing you need to do is look closely the thing you have in your hands, and you only need to see it the way somebody sees for the first time and express it that way. So it's about perception, and this is actually really fun because when I do it, when I help the kids to write in this Stephen Moss way, it's really useful. It's really it's really fruitful because I can make the language more effective when I do it this way, and then it's usually a good poetry. Okay, the last slide. This is a picture. This is a picture of one of my students. Well, this is my working partner is in the front here. He's Mikko Saarinen. He's a Finnish rap artist, and in the background is our student. And this is a moment when a poet is born. Actually, this was the moment. This guy Aleksi was he was in prison, and we were teaching him for something like 3 months or so, or maybe a bit more. But he really didn't like reading or writing, and the reason was that he found it to be trivial. He was actually pretty good in words, but he found it trivial. He didn't know what was the point in writing poetry or in writing rap lyrics. But he did it to please us. He did it when we asked him to. And then he made his first song. And the other guys in the prison, they were amazed. They were saying to this Aleksi that you need to write more because you are the guy who can write what we feel. You are the guy who writes how our life in this prison is like. You have this ability to tell our stories. And Aleksi did. He really in a short time he made many texts, and they were really good, really good. And this and it happened that we had this special occasion that the city of Helsinki was arranging this small festival, and we got the permission from the prison to invite Aleksi there to perform. He was a poet from the prison who was coming to perform to the civilians, and the other prisons in that prison, they lended Alexis his clothes. That hoodie isn't his. He also had a cap and sunglasses and all sorts of things. But the other guys dressed him as like Cinderella because he was representing them. This was the poet who was going out to the world to representing them, and they were really proud of this guy. And to this day, I'm really proud also of Aleksi. And this is what poetry is about. A poet is not someone who publishes poetry. A poet is not someone who has the skill or ability to write poetry. Poet is someone who is asked to write. And this guy was asked to write poems, and he did. And this is the moment for the first time he was performing his poetry to audience. And this is when I succeed in my work. This is what I try to do every day here in Finland. Well, yeah, this was my presentation about my project. I really have to apologize. Make my apologies of the way I speak English, because it's really not fluent. I use this so little and I speak so little English, so the words really doesn't come easy to my head, and I'm thinking in Finnish, and it's really hard. But you see in me like a patient number one. I am the embodiment of someone who needs more skills, text skills, and more words to be able to perform in literature. But I'm better in Finnish, believe me, and I hope you got the glimpse of what I'm doing, what I do in my projects.
Thank you so much, Alexis, for this great presentation. It was really interesting. I don't know if you can read the comments in the chat that are appearing now, but it was really inspiring for our teachers connected today. And thank you for giving such a comprehensive overview of this initiative and the benefits, and also the challenges that you underlined at the end, which are also very important, and how you managed to overcome these challenges. So thank you very much for sharing your knowledge, your time with us today. And I'm checking if in the chat we have any questions for Alexis. For now, I see mostly comments and no questions. And I see some hands raised. I just remind you that you cannot use your microphone. So if you have any questions, you can post them here in the chat and we will read them for you. So feel free to use this tool. Let me just give a check. I think so far no questions. I don't know if, Carol, you want to say something or you have any comments on Alexis' presentation.
Well, not much more of what you said. Really impressed about the work myself. When I contacted Alexis, I was, checking on the project. There's not a lot on the internet in English, but yeah, nowadays, thanks to the advances of technology, we can translate, and it was really interesting. But of course, learning about that firsthand, it's been amazing. I was very glad to have the opportunity to have you here, and I really hope that not only the people that were here today, but also those who couldn't attend will know more by checking the recording. It was amazing. So I want to thank you again, Alexis, for taking the time. And I know that you say that your English is not good and not fluent enough. I mean, yeah, you made yourself understood, and I think your English is real good. Yeah.
Yeah. But if we would have a couple of days, I would adjust my brains to English, and then it would be easier, and everything would be fine.
Yeah, I think you did perfect.
I totally agree with Carol. And yeah, as Carol said, this recording and the presentation will be available not only on the main page on the European School Education platform of the webinar, but also on the feature group on literacy, media literacy, and critical thinking. So if you'd like to rewatch it, share it with colleagues, you will have everything there, and you can catch up with the materials. Okay, I think we have no questions, so we can maybe wrap up some minutes earlier. And I thank again Alexis for this great session on the topic of reading as a skill of survival. We really hope teachers took away important inputs from today's session, and we encourage you to implement it in your teaching practice in your classroom as of already today, tomorrow, with your pupils. Thank you again, Carol, for organizing this interesting conversation on this topic. And I encourage again our attendees to check the feature group on media literacy, literacy and critical thinking. And if they are not member yet, to join now and discover much more activities like this. And I wish you all a nice evening. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.